Hey, I just created a Wix website for my business.
Buenos dias! It is so good to see everyone. We did not get to broadcast yesterday, so here we are today, and wow, what an awesome first day of school we had. Boys and girls, it was wonderful to see all of your bright, shiny faces, and wow, the uniforms. You look amazing. So thank you for wearing your uniform. When you look smart, you act smart, and you know what? You're gaining lots and lots of knowledge every day. So it is working for us, boys and girls. Success, whatever it takes. That is exactly what we're going to do this year. Whatever it takes to make sure that we are successful. So here we go. Let's just talk about a few important things we want to make sure that we're getting in place. We're going to be talking about these things throughout the week, just as reminders to help us move in the right direction and be successful. First of all, teachers, I want to thank you for a successful transportation day yesterday. We did have a few bumps, but that was to be expected. But just want to make sure that you know we will be coming around once again today to iron out any of those situations that weren't quite right yesterday. So Miss Parker, Mr. Arnold, Miss Adams, Coach Miles, they will all be walking around again during this day to make sure that any of your transportation needs can be taken care of today, during the day, before dismissal. It's going to be really, really important, teachers, that we monitor that again very closely this afternoon, and that we're watching as students get on particular buses, that we're looking at the magnet and the color and checking off on our transportation list, making sure that we're putting boys and girls on the correct bus. So please help us with that. We want to make sure that everybody gets home safely. Also, want to take just a moment to talk with you about our hallway procedures. Remember, we walk in a 3S line, single, straight, and silent. And we always walk on the right-hand side of the hallway, so we're not running into traffic that's going in the other direction. So please help us with that. You need to be on the third tile from the wall. That makes sure that we're not bumping into the wall. And when we're walking in that 3S line with our hands behind our backs and our bubbles in our mouth, then we are walking safely. Those of us that are around us are safe, and we ourselves are safe. So 3S line, single, straight, and silent, whether you are with your teacher or when you're not. For example, this morning when you're going to breakfast, you need to be in that 3S line. You're going to have to join the line on the right hand side, listen to the patrols, they're trying to help you, listen to the adults in the hallway, they're trying to help you as well, to make sure that you are walking in that 3S line and on the right hand side. Now listen very carefully. If you're in the first or second grade, when you come out of your pod, you stay to the right. You're going to walk all the way down the hallway till you get to Town Center. Where is Town Center? That's where the big old globe is, right there in the center of the building downstairs. When you get to the center, Coach McKinney will be standing there in the morning, or maybe me, and you're going to walk in front of us if you're coming from first and second grade. Or if you're coming from the bus ramp, you're walking on the right-hand side, you're going to pass us and then cross over to the left so you can get to your classroom, or you can join the breakfast line if you're going to breakfast. So teachers, please practice that with your students today so that they understand. In the morning, it becomes very hectic when lots of people are in the hallway and we're not walking on the right-hand side in a 3S line with the bubble in our mouth and our hands behind our back. Okay, so please, please, please help us with that. If you're a car rider and you're coming in from the outside into the building, you're going to come straight in. You're going to go all the way to the end of that little corridor there as you walk in. Stay there, and then if you go to the right to your classroom, or up if you go to the left, but you need to walk around that brick column, not through the center of the hallway there in Town Center. So help us with that. Also, boys and girls, when you come out of the breakfast line, if you're going to the right to your second grade or your kindergarten or your pre-K class, you're going to the right. You come out, get into the line on the left, and go in that direction. But if your classroom is first or second grade or upstairs, you have to come across, go all the way across, walk on the right-hand side, Continue down the hallway if you're going to first or second. You walk around Coach McKinney or me in Town Center and go up if your classroom is third, fourth, or fifth. So I know that's a lot of information, but your teachers know how to help you and are going to practice with you so that you can make sure that you're following the rules of the road and everybody is safe as we're walking in the hallways. Please help us with that. Also, we never, ever, ever stop in the hallway to tie our shoes because you're going to get run over. People don't see you if you're bent over tying your shoe. We cannot stop and wait for our friends. That's a big no-no. You have to keep walking, and then when you get to a stopping place in your classroom or seated at the table, seated at your desk, then you can stop and tie your shoe. Check it before you leave. You certainly don't want to be tripping down the hallways, so help us with those shoelaces. Also, we want to make sure that when you're at lunch, there are cups on your table, red and green. When you arrive, the cup should be red because you need at least 10 minutes of silence so you can eat without, any dangers of getting any choking or anything like that. So keep the red cup and your teacher will let you know when it's time to whisper at your table and talk nicely to your friends when we see the green cup. Okay, so teachers help us with that. Going to have to kind of gauge that time. When you feel as though students have had enough time to eat, then you can certainly change it to green so they can talk with each other. And then before you leave the table, someone needs to fix it and change it back to red. Okay, your teacher will give you direction there. Remember that we are talking about some rules and procedures that we're going to have throughout the school. Your teachers have posted these posters in your classroom. One of which is talking about volume. Volume 0 means no talking at all. So when, for example, you go into the lunchroom, we're at volume 0 when you see this red cup because we're not talking, we're eating. And then afterward, when you see the green cup in the dining room, your teacher may say volume 1 because you can whisper. You can talk quietly to the people that are at your table. That's an inside voice. And then volume 2 could be whenever you're in your classroom and your teacher gives you permission for volume 2, or maybe you're outside at recess or doing something outside, then you might have volume 2 where there can be lots of conversation. Okay? So teachers, I know that you're going over all of these routines and procedures in your classroom. It's most important that we follow those routines and procedures and rules. Sometimes some of them are really acceptable anywhere in our building. So talk to the boys and girls about that. Also want to let you know that all of our kindergarten, first and second grade students did receive a handbook. We want to take time to go through the handbook with our students and explain some things and maybe answer some questions. And once you feel like you have covered all of that, there is a very last page in the Rights and Responsibilities book that needs to be signed by the student and the teacher with a date and the grade level and a parent signature for our elementary school students. So this needs to be completed and then brought back to school. So boys and girls, if you're in kindergarten, first or second, it's in the book. Those boys and girls who are in third, fourth, and fifth grade, it is online and your teacher will walk you through that online. Maybe you could put it up on the smart board so everybody can see it. And then there will be a hard copy of that, teachers, in the Google Classroom. You can print that out and send it home with the boys and girls because it's an online version for the third, fourth, and fifth grade students. But we all want to make sure that we're taking some time to go through the Rights and Responsibilities handbook. Okay? One other thing that's going to be very important within these first 10 days of school is to take teachers an opportunity to walk through the evacuation route from your classroom. You want to do the primary route and the secondary route so everybody is aware. Sometimes, boys and girls, you might be the first person out of your classroom, so every single person needs to know what to do, where to go, and how to do it. And when we're doing those drills, we never really know when something like that might happen. We want to make sure that we're practicing safety. So teachers, practice that with your students because we will be having a practice drill within these first 10 days of school. So help us with that. You want to make sure that you have your red and green cards whenever you leave the room, and you also have your class list with you when you leave the room. All right, I don't want to take up too much of your instructional time. I just missed you yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to talk today. Again, for those of you that are new to Global, I am Mrs. LaBounty, your very, very proud principal, and I am so excited about this school year. Oftentimes last year we had a saying before we closed our news program, and that saying is changing this year. You know what? It is success, whatever it takes. And we're going to be saying that every single day. I want to hear your teachers saying that in your classroom, and you're going to hear us saying it all the time, because boys and girls, it's going to be so important this year that we do everything that we can in order to make sure that we are successful. How are we going to know that we're successful? We want to know more today than we did yesterday. And we want to know more tomorrow than we do today. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we do whatever it takes to be successful. You need to be focused every day, all day, from the minute you get here until the minute you get home and finish that reading assignment that you have for homework. All right? We can do it. Teachers, I know that you're practicing those routines and procedures and having high expectations for your students. As Miss Hale and I come around to classes today, we are focusing on the physical setting in your classroom, just trying to help out with some suggestions. So we'll be seeing you a little bit later today in your classrooms, and looking forward to it. All right, that's it for today. Boys and girls, teachers and staff, we hope that you have a terrific Tuesday. And remember, success, whatever it takes. Bye-bye.